I was born and raised in Iran as a Shiite Muslim. Shiite Muslim. And all my life I heard bad things about Israel and the Jews. And we were told that Islam is the best and the last. Muhammad was the most perfect person ever.
Growing up, did you study the Quran and the Hadith?
Yes, but mostly culturally. Like we would go and read in Arabic, for example. We didn't understand the meaning. They told us if you read in Arabic, you get more points to go to heaven. So I was trying to be a good Muslim, pray, go to mosque. And we are Shiite, so we used to go beat ourselves with chains on the streets, all to please Allah, hoping and wishing to go to heaven. When I was 16 years old, something happened to me that it changed my life. In fact, before that, I saw so many bad things on the streets. I saw people being executed publicly, hanging from a crane. I saw people being tortured, beaten. And they told us these are infidels, these are the enemies of Allah, these are Zionists or the spies for Israel. So when I was 16 years old, I was arrested and tortured by the regime in Iran.
Why?
I was going to a wedding and I was in the car of some relatives. They gave me a ride. My family was already there at the wedding and they had some alcohol. And based on Islamic law, you can't even have or possess or make or buy or sell or drink alcohol. And they had some, and my only crime was I was in the car. And there's the Islamic checkpoint. They pulled the car over and they began to smell the alcohol. They asked us to come out. They put us in a bus. And the bus got filled so fast because they arrested so many people for different reasons. And they took us to a confinement, to a jail, and then they took all our clothes off, bare naked. And they start pouring cold water on us and whipping us with this big, thick electric cable. Then they threw us into a room, a small room, and we were choking, no food.
And all that because you were sitting in a car?
Sitting in the car.
That somebody had alcohol in it.
Exactly. And I was 16. I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't do anything wrong. And I saw the cruelty of these people. I began to say, what kind of religion is this? What kind of justice is this? And my mother said, no, Islam is good. These people make it look bad. I said, okay. Then I began to do my own research. I began to read the Quran, the Hadith, and I saw, wow, so much evil in the Quran. Muhammad killed people. I saw Muhammad beheaded people, cut people's hand off. It says not to be friends with Jews and Christians, Surah 551. In Surah 929, Muhammad said, kill those who don't believe in Allah, His messenger, and in the religion of truth, which is supposedly Islam, kill them unless they pay jizya, blood money. In Surah 928, he cursed the Jews and Christians. In Surah Muhammad, verse 4, it says, behead the infidels wherever you find them. So when I saw these things, I saw, wow, this could not be from God. So I lost my faith in Islam completely. So when I was 19 years old, for first time, I heard about Jesus. That Jesus is the Lord and He died for me and He rose from the dead. And I said, no, that's too good to be true. How could God have a son? I said, okay, Jesus, if this is true, I ask you to show me. If it's real, be my Lord, be my Savior. And I prayed this prayer, and the moment I say that, a heat went through my hand. I began to shake and tremble. I began to cry, and I felt this love and this peace and this joy I had never experienced before. I felt a burden was lifted off my shoulder. I began to feel love for people, for anybody who had hurt me. I began to forgive them. I began to feel forgiveness and love and joy. It was an instant transformation.
So in Pakistan, we study Islamiyat, which is Islamic studies. Every day you go and you learn about Muhammad. In the beginning, when I learned about him, he was very honest and trustworthy. I would follow him. But then I learned more about him. No, he married so many women. He even married Aisha at the age of 6 and then consummated the marriage at the age of 9. For me, that was like, no, this can't be right. She was so little. So fast forward my life to 2015. I was browsing and I saw this news about this Turkish childbirth. There was this 9-year-old little girl who was married off to this 40-something man. And the little girl, she started bleeding on the wedding night and it didn't stop. So they take her to the hospital and there she dies. I was so angry, like beyond imagination. I was like, how dare these people, do they think they are Muhammad? But then I was like, hang on a second. You do everything because he did. You pray, you fast, you read Quran, you all do all that. This guy is only doing because he married. So he's just following him. Then it hit me at that time, like, there is no difference between me and the father of this girl. We're both following the same man. And this man has done an evil act to a child. I was like, no, this is not right. I need to find something else. I read this hadith about Muhammad that few men went to meet him, but they got sick, and he sends him to this guy and he tells them you should drink the camel milk and urine and then you will feel better. After they felt better, they killed the owner of the camel, took his camel, and they were trying to run away. And the people caught him and they brought him to Muhammad for judgment. And I was like, what he's gonna do to them? And he said, cut their arm and leg from the opposite side, put hot iron in their eyes, and leave them in a hot spot, harara, until they die. I couldn't take it. I was Muslim for 20 plus years and I didn't know about this hadith. What if Jesus prosecuted someone like that? And I'm thinking to become Christian. So I googled it quickly. Did Jesus prosecuted anyone? A woman story came up and I was like, woman, oh my god, woman. It's like even worse. But I was like holding my heart and I started reading the story that the Pharisees brought this woman to Jesus and they said, oh, according to law of Moses, we should stone her to death because she's adulterous. What does your law say? And Jesus say, whoever of you have not committed any sin should cast the first stone. And they all dropped their stones because we're all sinners. And in that way, he saved her life. And he himself is sinless. If he wanted to kill her, he could have cast the first stone, but he didn't. He saved her life. When I read that one, then I was on my knees and I gave my life to Jesus and I was like, this is the true religion because he's holy, he's good. When you follow someone, you want to follow that person because he's holy, he's good, he's kind. And when I'm reading about Muhammad, I don't have that feeling. He's amazing, he's so kind. And that's why I was like, I will follow this prophet and I will follow everything he says. And that's how my journey started.